AITA for rolling my eyes at my boyfriend's proposal because it took 25 years of me begging. Yesterday after dinner my boyfriend of 30 years proposed to me. He just walked towards me holding a box and said to open it. It was a ring and I had pictured this moment a million different times but never thought I'd be so apathetic. My boyfriend then said that he was retired now and wants to kick back and enjoy life with me and would love to do it all with me as his wife. A nice speech and all, but from the 5-year mark of our relationship onwards, I had been making clear my deep desire to marry and was consistently dismissed, given empty promises, gaslit. We had been through the gamut with therapy and one counselor implied that me telling him we needed to go to therapy and getting his butt off the couch still means nothing if his mind has been made up. I was in denial about the fact he was just giving me the false illusion of progress to stall. My boyfriend and I have 4 kids. The oldest 3 are adults, while the youngest is 15 was sleeping over elsewhere when this all went down. All of our kids went to a private school filled with typical Southern soccer parents. I had to endure PTA moms' jabs about me not sharing a last name with my kids. Preteen years were hell because the other kids would taunt my kids by saying your dad would rather sin and go to H than marry your mom. My boyfriend's mom would tell him marriage would be selfish on my part, it is just a piece of paper. My boyfriend ended up rising up the ranks until he became an executive. I was a stay-at-home mom so I felt like there was always a power imbalance, exasperated by the fact I could be tossed any time. I partly did stay because I wanted my kids to have the best life and because I felt lucky and proud to be partnered with such an intelligent, successful man, but also because I loved him. These past few years my boyfriend's career has taken a downturn. He will never be poor, but the company he was part of took a nosedive during 2020 and he had made enemies out of associates board members. He decided to step back from his role and take the generous severance agreed upon. Now he is living off his investments and wants to relax. I did not like how his career ended and how he treated people and had been deciding whether I wanted to leave and find somebody else after our youngest turns 18. So the proposal was a shock because I should hope that he noticed I have avoided conversations about the future as of late. He rattles on about downsizing our house so we can travel and also cutting back on our other expenses, but we're not married so it's all his money, house anyway. He did notice my eye roll and was offended. He asked what's wrong and I said that suddenly now that he's downsizing I'm good enough to marry. He got mad and said that now that he's downsizing and no longer an executive, I suddenly think our relationship is disrespectful. And started implying I was a gold digger. I was so angry I walked out and said I might just go out looking for a respectful relationship because I don't know what respect is anymore. AITA. From the comments, wrong. Marriages gives legal protection. Why do you think gays have fought so hard for marriage rights? So they can be next of kin, can adopt, for insurance purposes, for hospital visitation rights, for last wills and testaments, and for social security protections. Marriage is more than just saying I do and having a party afterwards. I am convinced a lot of the people claiming marriage is nothing except a piece of paper are the same types who will throw a tantrum when people ask why they won't just sign the papers if the papers mean nothing. I know firsthand that is true now, or they'll switch and say that you are being a gold digger desiring financial security when it's central to survival. They will make deflecting arguments about how you just want Chanel handbags and are therefore a gold digger if you want marriage. But it comes down to a lot of times being able to feed yourself and your kids. And if they still find the idea of desiring that repulsive, then they should also condemn anybody who deals with a bad boss or unpleasant coworkers instead of straight up quitting because they need money from that job. I am convinced the people who say marriage is a piece of paper hate women in general, and take pleasure in making them jump through hoops to prove they are morally good enough for their approval, which will never happen by the way goalposts are consistently moved, where they are men who want to be able to throw women to the streets when they get bored of them and take sadistic pleasure in leaving somebody with nothing, where they are emotionally immature children who hate somebody who represents marriage or family to them, so they want to dump on the institution of marriage to feel like they transcend this immature little thing. In those cases, life and reality will often hit them hard when they least expect it. I will teach my daughters to be real with themselves and their partners so they don't end up in my situation. Update. At the time of my original post, my boyfriend and I had not spoken since the engagement fight. I've been with him long enough to know that when he goes and closes the bedroom door before I get in, that's a signal that I should sleep in one of the guest rooms, so I did that. However, this morning I broke the ice. I told him about how dismissed I felt over the years. I also said that we are both in our 50s and these last few years have taught us that people at work who kiss the ground you walk on one day can easily turn on you the next. And true partners in life are valuable and hard to find, so I wished he'd treat me like I'm valued. Instead he treats me like he thinks prettier, better, and just as loving is always around the corner. I apologized for the eye roll but told him that if he wants marriage, I want a quick committed timeline and genuine happiness from him to be marrying me. I don't need a big party. He listened to me and finally asked if this was about the money, security. He told me that being an executive's girlfriend required things of me, but if I wanted to work I could have. He said he doesn't think I'm grateful enough for the position in society I was in due to his career, but that he's not mad about the eye roll. He said he didn't succeed by being that sensitive. He went on to say I was not his prisoner so I can leave at any time, but to remember he won't tolerate being made my prisoner either via manipulation. He said that for what it's worth, the engagement ring is mine and I could do whatever I wanted with it. He will also not be accused of not providing for his daughter, so be assured he won't shirk child support. But that he felt what I said before was emotional blackmail, so he no longer wants to go forward with marrying but says if I'd like to travel with him that's fine. Him traveling is non-negotiable, and so if I wanted to get a job it would have to be a remote job. It was a sad conversation and I spent a few hours alone after that. I felt I had nothing to lose, so I just asked him if he would support me getting an associate's, but that most associates for technical careers were in person. He then dropped the bombshell that if I wasn't traveling with him he wasn't going to go those periods without S. I was astounded by his callousness because he's back to take it or leave it. We fought again with me saying we're all feeling the effects of age, I've supported him through health issues, and if he thinks he can just find somebody who has that loyalty I've shown him, he's wrong. At this point I'm looking for ways out. I can't say I haven't been tempted to say I'll travel with him and try to get a remote job, but also real is how resentful I am that he continues to need to have the power in the relationship. I don't think I'll ever know my value truly, but something telling me there has to be better out there, at least in a partner. From the comments, I'm an old 65+ lady and I have seen this scenario happen so many times. And it has never been a good thing for the woman involved. In fact, it has been an outright tragic disaster. Poverty is knocking on your door, OP, and it wants in. You have screwed yourself over in so many ways, the biggest of which was not to work over the last 30 years. You have no investments, no social security units earned, no 401k retirement, and no property. You made another huge mistake by not just grabbing that ring and immediately marrying your boyfriend, thereby cementing your ability to share in some of his investments, social security, etc. I don't care how unappreciated you felt. It was a moment in time, and now it's gone. A good lawyer may help, depending on where you live, but it is in no way guaranteed. If you had immediately married when he proposed and he lived at least 10 more years, you would have been able to get widow's benefits. But not now. Now you get nothing. Do you have any money at all? Your own bank accounts or credit of any kind? At your age, it is a cruel world without credit or money. You had better hope that one or more of your adult children will take you in, or you could quickly find yourself homeless. I'm sorry to be so brutal, but I don't think you have any clue how terrible things can get for you unless you can find a way to make an actual living. Even if you do, don't expect to ever retire. You, as many women are, will be working until you die. OP, I understand and am mostly numb to the harsh words from a large amount of the comments. I was hoping that if a part-time job would take me on I'd be able to get myself an apartment and a reliable source of transportation so I could start afresh. If not, I want to look into certificate programs or nonprofits that help moms first get a certificate and then get a job. I don't know what remote jobs are like, but if there's remote part-time jobs that don't pay much but allow me to work from home so I can set up my new life, I'd love to do that. I know a cousin in her 30s who is a mom that works part-time but makes about $30 an hour, but I know she has an accounting degree. But her setup is great and hopefully she can give me pointers because I know she networked her way into that job too. I know I have a lot to figure out. So last update from me: for a while, I have decided to start sending in applications for work from home jobs such as social media manager, operations assistant, and bookkeeper as soon as I can get a CV together. I have downloaded templates online and am looking into displaced homemaker programs. There are some CV tip websites that are saying they have helped homemakers land 60K jobs, and I am going to work hard on my CV. I hope that when they see my earnestness in the interview they would be moved to take a chance on me instead of saying that a white-collar job is too much for me to ask for when I'm willing to work hard. I feel that after running a household that these operations and administration jobs, as well as social media management jobs since I've done the photography for my family and friends, would be within my scope of experience. I hope my comments have not come off as spoiled or out of touch. I apologize if that has offended anyone. What I was trying to say is that I want to be able to rent a studio, 1 bedroom in a semi-safe neighborhood, and have heard that new grads are able to make $45,000 to $50,000 a year semi-remote in business administration or marketing, and then hit $70,000 to $80,000 in around 5 years, and hope that if I show my intent to get a certification in those fields that employers would give me this opportunity for me to rise up the ranks. I just need somebody to take a chance on me and let me prove that I'm a hard worker. I am not above applying to the big box retailers and such, but the people who work work there seem to all be teens or else adults with dubious criminal pasts, so for the sake of my safety, as well as the promotion opportunities available with desk jobs, I would like to explore all my options. I will not sell the ring as of right now out of respect for my partner. However, if he shows me any more displays of disrespect, I will sell the ring. I will, however, do everything I can to prevent myself from falling into poverty, and if that means seeing a lawyer, I will do so. But in my opinion, new grads don't have that much more experience and much less invested in a job, so they can pick up and leave at any time, so I feel I'd be a more reliable hire.